What mindset needs to change in small medium practitioners to help bring this customer delight?
Those professionals who update themselves, who make use of the technological changes which are coming in, they will thrive. Not only survive, they will thrive. So, when I started practice, there was no computer. So I started off with, those Lal Khata audits. The practice area has changed from compliance to consulting. But compliance practice will gradually go down. Consulting practice will gradually become more important. I believe that in consulting practices, use of technology is even more important.
Yes.
People are coming in to know, to learn, to understand how is AI going to impact them in future. These people are not coming for CPRs. So there is a difference between normal CP hours and this AI course. I would believe that today, even if the top level starts using, that itself will be a big change. We need to change that mentality and think of us, think of our firm as a client of ours.
Financial auditors, or let's say process auditors, right? How can we as CA firms or CAs at large be strategic advisor to our clients?
Obviously, your audit partner is unlikely to have textbooks on his table.
Right? I think we as chartered accountants have that privilege, right? And somewhere in one of the seminars which I was there, somebody says that nobody understands the number better than us.
With conviction, I say that even today we are the most trusted profession. There is no area of practice where technology cannot be a game changer.
Where do you see our profession in the next 5 to 10 years? Is AI going to kill our job as a CA?
You see, disruption will definitely be there. With such kind of a technological change or development, there will be disruption.
Welcome everyone to podcast number 2 for Data to Insights, wherein in each of the episodes we get on board CA people, CA fraternity people to share their insights about how technology is revolutionizing CA practice at large, CA members at large, and fraternity, right? Today we would be discussing on a very important topic which I feel is the need of the hour for discussion. Today we'll be talking and discussing on something called what are the niche areas of expertise or consulting practices that small medium practitioners, or for that matter big consulting firms, can also look into in this cutting edge era of tech revolution. We all know AI, agentic AI workflows, AI agents are going to rule this entire world in the next 1 year, 1.5 years or so. And we're experiencing the tsunami as well, right? So what are those small niche practice areas that can be generated, that can be leveraged for our survival, for CA practicing firms, practice areas? To discuss on this topic, we have someone from the fraternity which I think needs no introduction, CA Ravi Patwa. He is the past chairman of Eastern India Regional Council, and currently he is one of the member from East when it comes to Central Council. Welcome, Ravi sir. Welcome to the podcast. Couple of minutes of your introduction as to how you came into this, practice area, CA practice at large, and then a couple of liners as to how the tech at large is influencing our CA fraternity.
Okay. So, I was born in a business community, and obviously I had a family business, but I wanted to do something on my own. Leaving aside what I wanted to do, later on the choice boiled down to chartered accountancy, and I did my chartered accountancy and started practice as an individual. I'm a first generation chartered accountant. As a proprietorship firm, the firm started. Then we converted after 4 years to partnership. Gradually, we started growing. I used to travel a lot, attend conferences, seminars, listen to leaders of the profession. And that is how I believe that my horizons were broadened. And I started thinking ahead of people of my time. And the firm started growing that way. And here we are today.
So, I believe you would have seen different phases of tech evolution, right? During your time, I'm not sure whether Orkut or Yahoo Messenger would be there. It came later on, then came WhatsApp. Okay. Now the AI evolution. So you have seen all this tech revolution or Renaissance for that matter. So how do you summarize, this movement from, age old technology to a new age tech that we are seeing, considering CA practice at large?
Okay. So, when I started practice, there was no computer. So I started off with, those Lal Khata audits. And then I bought a 286 machine in 1996 for more than $1 lakh. Yeah. So from there, I have seen the tech revolution in the profession. And I do believe, if I have to summarize, I would like to say that in the initial stage also people were apprehensive that the technological revolution will actually drive the professionals out of business, which did not happen, obviously, and which is not going to happen even after the advent of AI. What is going to happen is that those professionals who update themselves, who make use of the technological changes which are coming in, they will thrive. Not only survive, they will thrive. And the people who do not intend to do that will perish. That is how I'd like to summarize.
Okay. So we have experienced that in CA fraternity, we are more inclined towards doing an activity which is like, income tax return filing, GST return filing, doing audits, right? So anything and everything around statutory compliance, we are happy, right? So what are the things that needs to be changed in order to embrace this new mindset of adapting and embracing technologies for your internal purpose, smooth functioning of the firm, as well as enhancing your service offerings to your clients? Because I feel how the big fours or the top 10 consulting firms, they are more inclined towards customer delight, right? Now that customer delight predominantly happens because you are serving them in a much better way. Okay, so what mindset needs to change in small medium practitioners to help bring this customer delight?
You see, basically as professionals, we need to serve what the client wants from us. And as a fraternity of professionals, we will survive only if we are in a position to satisfy the needs of the society. Okay. Now, in suburban areas, even today, compliance practice rules, it will take some time for them to actually shift from compliance to consulting. But not only in metropolis, but also in the other large cities, the practice area has changed from compliance to consulting. Not changed, but shifting gradually. I am not saying that the compliance practice will not remain, but compliance practice will gradually go down. Consulting practice will gradually become more important. Now, both in compliance practice and in consulting practice, use of technology is of vital importance. If you use technology, you can do the work faster and in a manner which will produce you better results even. Not only faster results, but better results. You talked about customer delight. Now, in the suburban areas, the customer is only interested in having a signature of a chartered accountant, having his return filed, and he is delighted with that. So the professionals are also serving that. Now, out of the lot of professionals in a particular small city, one or two professionals will start giving some value-added service to those customers. Then only those customers will realize that there is something extra which I can get. Initially, the payment will not come for that, but gradually it will start coming. That is how the shift will happen. In the larger cities, it is already happening. And I believe that in consulting practices, use of technology is even more important.
Yes.
Why? Well, the main reason is that when you use technology, you provide them such value-added services which is not possible to do unless you use high-end technologies. So anybody who intends to have a roaring practice have to think of using technologies. At times those technologies will be costlier because they will be new age technologies. In our profession, somehow the firms are not interested to spend in technology.
Yes.
I believe that for a CA firm to do very well, certain things are important. One, having a physical infrastructure. Two, having human resource infrastructure. People do not spend in human resource. Unless you spend in human resource, you cannot give very good services. And three, spending in technological infrastructure. Most of the firms today, in some of the firms, use of say, for example, audit softwares has become compulsory. So some of the larger firms, not larger firms, mid-sized firms, are using some audit softwares because they are only thinking that it is essential, I have to do it. So they are not going for the top level of audit softwares. They are going for some mid-level of audit software which will just cater to the regulatory requirement.
Correct.
Right. Whereas when you talk about the big four, big six, they spend a lot on technologies. Obviously, the other top Indian firms do not have that much of money to spend.
Correct.
That is an impediment.
Absolutely.
But whatever best is possible, the firms should also think of spending more and more for technology, maybe create a fund for that. That will help them, develop the practice faster. And from ICAI, we are trying to create an awareness among the fraternity to increase the usage of technology as much as possible. That will also perhaps help the members a lot.
Take it to what you said about ICI's contribution. I understand we have certain softwares which we intend or which we have rolled out to practitioners, the idea softwares, the ACS softwares, right? But very rarely do we see the usage of those softwares by these small, medium practitioners, right? So the institute is trying all the level best to make them aware about these technologies. Let's say currently we're having AI in ICAI process wherein we are running the workshops like anything, right? Every single day you have good amount of people coming in, joining the workshops. But that mindset, majority of them are still thinking that I need to attend that workshop just for the sake of the CPE right? So how to change that mindset that, this is for their betterment. So they start using IDEA, they start using ACL, they start leveraging the knowledge of the technologies that they are getting in this AI and ICI workshop. So what sort of mindset that needs to be changed in these, firms?
There is a silver lining, Dipak. You said that most of these, practitioners are coming to attend such programs for CPRs. There is a visible change which I have noticed so far as the AI in ICA is concerned. In the first level AI course at least, people are coming in to know, to learn, to understand how is AI going to impact them in future. These people are not coming for CPRs. So there is a difference between normal CP hours and this AI course, which is a great thing to happen. Normally, it doesn't happen that way. You are very right. But with this AI course, this is happening. And so far as the usage of the dollies which the institute is giving to the members, but members are not using, I would not like to blame the members. Of course, some members are using it, but somehow perhaps we also, from the institute point of view, need to again, reach out to them more often, make them understand how this usage of these kind of things are going to help them. Some, I would take the blame on myself that perhaps we haven't been able to make our membership aware about the benefits of using them, and that is why perhaps they are not using. So it's a both-way thing. The members should use it, yes, and we should also reach out to members and make them aware about the things.
Absolutely. Taking cue to what you said earlier, that we need to augment or upskill our workforce, right? For small, medium practitioners, right? Predominantly, it's in terms of the articles that are coming in, joining them, helping them do the audits, do those statutory compliances. But I'll take a very small example, right? That whenever these softwares or this new tech comes in any firm, right, this small, medium practicing firm, it gets first installed in the proprietors or the partners system rather than the people who are doing the code execution on the ground, right? So how is this going to be changed by institute? Because at the end of the day, if you don't give them the technology, the scalability, the flexibility and the agility which the end client would require, that would not be achieved. So how is institute at large, or we as practicing chartered accountants, can help other chartered accountants achieve this area?
You have touched a real pain point. This definitely is a pain point, that somehow these things are initially being used only at the top level, and when the top level is satisfied, they are trying to percolate it down to the lower levels. I don't know how is it going to change, but I would believe that today, even if the top level starts using, that itself will be a big change. Because in most of the firms, even the paid assistants are not using it.
Absolutely.
Even the manager level people are not using it.
Yes.
So at least start using technology. If you are not, happy to spend so much that you give it to the lower level people who are executing the work, at least start using from the manager level, so that the manager feels that, okay, this is helping me. And then he comes to the partner and says, sir, this is helping. This is useful. So let us bring it down to the lower level. We have to think of the investment in technology as an investment, not an expenditure. Unfortunately, in most of the CA firms, we are thinking of technology spending as an expenditure. The day we start thinking that it is not an expenditure, it is an investment, this is going to give us returns, things will change. I always keep saying that we are the best advisors to the clients. As a profession, as a fraternity of chartered accountants, we are the best advisors to the clients. With our advisors, the clients thrive, they develop, they progress in life. But when it comes to taking those same advices or using those same things for our own firm, we falter. Absolutely. We need to change that mentality and think of us, think of our firm as a client of ours. As a consultant, as a chartered accountant, what would I tell to a client? I would obviously tell him invest in technology, is going to help.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But when it comes to me, and when I had to, dish out some money, I stop myself. How is it going to work?
It's a bitter pill for oneself to consume.
Yeah. How is it going to work? If you're seeing yourself that your clients are thriving with your advisors and you're not taking the same advisors for yourself, It's a huge dilemma. We need to come out of that mindset and advise our own firm. Our firm will also thrive.
It's a very good topic that you have highlighted, that investment in technology should be taken as investment, not an absolute. So it should be a part of the balance sheet, not your P&L account. Okay, because that is
I'm not going into the accounting part of it, but your thought process should be that.
absolutely. Now, as an advisor to your client, right? We are seen as, financial auditors, or let's say process auditors, right? How can we as CA firms, or CAs at large, be strategic advisor to our clients? Okay. Now, there is a perception in the market, right? Then whenever the CA goes, as you said, that just a sign of yours on the financial statement and it's done, right? But there is a lot more from a CA that the client can acquire, right? So what are those additional niche services apart from the traditional return filing or the compliance audit that the user, that the CA firms can provide to their clients, okay, which would help them in this cutting edge technology? So you have AIs coming in, you have privacy concerns coming in, data confidentiality coming in, okay, data analytics coming in, cyber security audits coming in.
Yes.
So what are those niche areas or services which the CA firms can give as a value added service, or as an added service offerings to their clients, in order to have that confidence inbuilt in them that they are more of a compliance partner, they are more of a they now can become a strategic advisor to us as well. So what are those areas where these small medium practitioners or big practitioners can look into?
Okay. You talked about strategic advisory. I believe the first thing which any chartered accountant needs to have to become a strategic advisor is knowledge about the industry.